This is a drawing called the conveyor link, and what I like about this assignment is that besides giving you the object that's to be drawn, you also have some guidance as how to proceed with the drawing. And so I've already done a little bit just to get an idea of where you should start on the page. If we look at this first box here, let me zoom in on this a little bit. If we look at this first box, we can see this center line with the two centers for these two circles right here. We have this angle right here, for the center line for the 15 degree, and we have the 30 degree angle right here. Now that's 30 degrees to the vertical, which is also 60 to the horizontal, so you can use your 60 degree triangle to get this angle right here. So I'm going to start out like that, and I've already drawn a couple of these lines just to show you how to start. Let me zoom out a little bit. And I'm using my T-square arrangement like this. I have the T-square riding on the bottom edge of the clipboard. I have my paper clipped down, and if you use the thickness of your T-square, we have 1.5 inch T-squares, and if you use that to gauge 1.5 inches from the bottom of the page to the center of this center line right here, and make that 1 1/2 inches from the bottom of the page, I think that'll be a good place to start. And then I came in 3 inches, well no I didn't, I came in about 2 1/8. It's on the 3, but it's about 2 1/8 inches from the side of the paper, and then 6 inches from there. So that'll put you in a pretty good position. I've also got the paper up from the bottom of the clipboard, about another 1.25 inches, so that my T-square won't do this when I get to the lower edge. I can keep it fairly straight. So just a couple of tips there before you start. Okay, so I have this line, this center line right here, and I have these two centers, and now I'm going to put this 15 degree center, or I'm sorry, this 15 degree arc in place, which will be the center of the circle that's on the piece right here, the center of this circle that makes a slot. So I'm going to get my protractor and come right from this point. 15 degrees would be right here, and I'm just going to do a light construction line through that dot, just like that. And now I'm going to do my 60 degree angle. I've done the 15 degree, and I'm going to do the 60 degree right here. Let me zoom in now. I think that'll be a good position to do the rest of the drawing. And I can do that with my 60 degree angle right here on the center. Just like that. And now we can see what's next. And it looks like we have two arcs, one on each end, and they both have a 13/16 radius. So I'm going to set my compass to 13/16 and draw those two arcs. So right here is 13/16. And I'm going to swing an arc all the way around like this. I'll do the same thing on this end. And then I'm going to lightly connect those. reason I got a little bit off the line right there. There we go. And the next step would be to put in these arcs right here. We have this large arc here and this large arc here, and if we look at that, it's 3 7/8 to the center of this slot. And looking at what we have in addition to that, 3 7/8, and then let's see, we've got a 3/4 inch radius on the outside of that, so it's 3 7/8, and then we have another 3/4 past that. So first I'm going to go ahead and lay out that 3 7/8 arc. Set my compass to 3 7/8. It's a pretty good stretch. So there we have 3 7/8 from the same center once again. Right like that. So that gives me my center line of the slot and of this piece that extends out. And then I have 3/4 of an inch on each side of that. So I can set my compass to 3/4 of an inch now. Right like that, and I can draw my arc up here. Okay, now the easiest way to continue this arc on down is just to go to the center and adjust my compass on out to that arc. So I'm just going to put it in the center and then adjust the wheel till I'm right out here with my arc. And I'm going to lightly, at this time, draw that arc, and then I'm going to bring this down. Just adjust the leg until I get to this part. Right like that. Now before I put in the slot in this area right here, I want to do this part where we connect this arc to this straight line. And if you think back, this is very similar to one of the exercises that we did when we first started this unit on geometric instructions, and that is how to connect a straight line to an arc like this. And then over on this side we're going to have a straight line connected to an arc that's on this side. So let's look at what our connecting radius is supposed to be. We have 1 1/4 inch radius that connects this straight line to this arc. So if you think back again to those exercises, we're going to set our compass to 1 1/4 inch. I think I'll use this one. It's 1 1/4 inch radius. So I'm going to set it right like this, and I'm going to do 2 arcs so that I can get my parallel line. So 2 very light arcs. Probably could rely on my T-square, but I'll use the arcs. There's my parallel line, and now I'm going to go 1 1/4 inch off of this arc, and again it doesn't matter where. And now I'm going to come all the way from this center to the top of this arc. assuming my t-square or my compass will do it. Yes, it will. Okay. So there's my arc, and then I come off the original center and I do a larger arc, and where that larger arc intersects with my perpendicular